welcome him finally.
Oh, all right.
Welcome to the Cuyahoga Sound Podcast. I'm Evan Stone.
I'm Chuck Schilling.
And I'm Arron Bound.
Yeah.
Oh, I liked that.
Yeah.
I don't think our guests has introduced themselves yet.
Malik did.
Malik, yeah.
Malik did, yeah. Malik stepped right up. He was showing us how everything was done.
Oh, yeah. I know Malik as well.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I'm pretty good friends with Malik.
Oh, he's a good dude.
Yeah, good, great. Yeah, I started shooting him. So I'm a photographer.
Let's say that first.
So I'm a photographer and... or just a psycho. I know, I sometimes think about that a lot, like especially with texting or like IG, like, oh, I can't wait to shoot you. Or so I try to like do a photo shoot or something.
Yeah.
I mean, like, they're really going to track me, but this guy's off shooting a lot of people in Cleveland.
That's an NSA trigger word, so I'm sure, they already got their eyes on you.
Yeah.
Sweet! Oh, my God, I'm so excited.
we are recording and broadcasting.
Yeah.
Oh, we are. Okay, cut that, take two.
Right, now they're going to have an
back.
image of me. I don't live in Cleveland.
We'll start hearing feedback from his phone that's recording it.
Yeah, that's what that sound is.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, welcome, man.
Thank
our
you.
first photographer.
Yay!
All right.
Awesome. So yeah, I know Malik. I started shooting him by chance. The first paid gig I had, he was a performer, and then we just kind of hit it off, and then he would hire me to do other shoots. And so I've known him for a while, and I end up connecting with the guy that I do a lot of weddings with, wedding photography. He was doing video for Malik, or doing music videos for Malik. So that was a nice little inner world of connections, with music and photography.
Yeah.
And I also know Gabe. And really, Gabe is... Hello, Gabe. I mean, Gabe, I listened
Gabe Pollock.
Gabe
Say it
Pollock at the Bob Stop, part of the music settlement. But Gabe, I tell you what, I am so glad to listen to the interview that you guys had with him. I've known him for years now. When I moved back to Cleveland, I live near the Bob Stop, so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go down there. I love jazz. I'm just going to go there as often as possible. And it was at the same time I was starting to learn how to do photography. So it was a great place to relax and work on photography. And at one point, Gabe's like, hey, man, you want to have a show here? And I'm like, yeah. So he really helped me a lot by offering his space at the Bob Stop. And I've had 2 shows there, and it was all the photos were, concert music. There were some poets too that I photographed and put up, but it was mostly all Cleveland musicians, maybe one out-of-towner, and then that would hang up at the Bob Stop. And it was awesome, I got a whole night, so I had like an opening reception, and with both times I would have poets and I had musicians play. So Michael McFarlane played, Apostle Jones played on one, and various other poets too, because I also love poetry. Like Cleveland poetry scene is amazing.
Oh, really?
Yes. So I'd
like to know more about that. I don't know anything about that.
Oh, well, let me send you links.
Yeah.
But again, back to Gabe. I really have to thank him a lot because he gave me the confidence or he believed in me to do it, or he took a chance. But then I got confidence in all the processes of making my own show, coordinating everything between musicians and getting stuff done. So so to hear him talk and hear his history and how close Cleveland was to not having the Bob Stop that the Bob Stop is, wow. I mean, he, in my mind, is really I don't say a gem or a huge pivotal person in Cleveland to have within the music scene, especially with jazz. You know, I can't say much more about him, you know, and then to hear how much he works too. It's you know,
yeah.
I know other directors of nonprofits, and they work. They work.
It's inspiring. I don't think I've ever worked that hard. Did you need some
Mm-hmm.
bourbon?
Yeah.
I thought you had already poured some.
Oh no.
What was I saying?
So where should we go
Inspiring
see
never
some of
works
this,
that hard.
the poetry?
Oh, okay. So the Bob Stop actually had a few nights. My friend Kiera with Temples of Passions, they would host music and poetry days. So sometimes it would be just poetry, sometimes a collaboration of music with poetry, but it was still very poet-centered. And she, I know, is lining up stuff for this year. I don't know where she's going to be, so that's Temples of Passion, or Passions. And so after COVID, things have been disrupted. So a lot of those groups that I would know that they're going to have something has been changed. So I haven't really gotten into that groove again to where the poets are happening, when this is happening. So I've been lax in it, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the pandemic shifted everything for everybody, so.
Didn't it?
Yeah.
I had the longest running show at the Bob Stop because of the pandemic. I think my stuff was up for like a year and a half or so, or more. Yeah. I was gonna, like, literally that month of whenever, January, February, I was gonna go pick it up, and the next artist was gonna come in, no, I was like, well, I mean, it can stay there. What's the point of taking it out?
Yeah.
And then on top of then he started doing all the live performances out
Yeah.
of there, and then they slowly started letting people back in. So that's fun. I like that. I like that a lot because I would have people come up to me and be like, I saw me up at the Bob Stop. You know, I'm like, yeah, you know,
Cool.
do you want to buy it? No. But so I guess, my photography company is called No Numbers, and kind of like one of the things I wanted to play with as an idea is the concept of no numbers. In the last show I had there, I said, well, what is music before numbers? You know, what was that world like? Because we didn't always count, but I would guarantee the music was there before we started counting. So I imagine, you know, people that are maybe in the plains area or Sierra, they would hear the rumbling and the sounds of animals, the wind. So as humans, we would probably mimic that. So sometimes, like, I try to pretend of worlds that exist without numbers. And in this music way, you know, I think, yeah, music existed before numbers. You know, maybe we started to learn to count because of music in some fashion, you know, even though they say there's other reasons we counted, but, you know,
Yeah.
to figure out who gets all the apples.
It was pretty free form before then. I think that it was about the medieval times they really started assigning that.
Ooh,
Yeah.
With Gregorian chant.
Chance, yeah.
really? Ooh,
Yeah, like 800, 900, something like that.
really?
Music major.
Maybe.
Really?
Well, that's what I remember. It was
that from my music
It was
history,
like
too.
10 years since my music history class.
Yeah. That's what I remember from mine, too, was the Gregorian chants starting all that.
I remember doing Gregorian chant, like a workshop and like writing lines and stuff. And they mostly sang in the modes, like not always just major or minor key, but like those modes are from that old church music, like Dorian and
Wow.
Phrygian, Locrian, and
All the other things you hear about on Rick
Lydian is
Beato's
my
channel.
favorite. Huh?
All the things you hear about on Rick Beato's channel.
Yeah. Cool.
So, have you always looked to combine your photography with the music world? I mean, that's how we kind of got connected to you. Was at a music event at the Bob Stop?
Well, yeah, I guess so. was saying before is like I just started with photography. I came back to Cleveland and I said I got to change my world. I can't do what I'm doing. I'm gonna hate myself. And there was nothing wrong with the work I was doing. It was still fulfilling, but I just wasn't. Okay, no, it wasn't fulfilling. I like the people. I like interaction, and I was always in restaurant management, stuff like that. But you can work 60 hours in a week, and all you've done is that, and you don't have too much time to do anything else. So I said, moving back here, I'm not going to do that anymore. Even though the first 2 jobs, of course, were restaurants, but but I was like, I'm not going to do this. I want to focus on art. Like all my free time's got to be art. I knew that's what made me happy. So photography kind of came about because, sorry, Cleveland, but you don't like dancing. And I don't know what happens here in Cuyahoga County, but they don't like to dance, and I do. And I found myself being kind of like, be nice, Aaron. But I found myself being like, why is this guy dancing over here? Like, there's so much, I felt there's so many people just staring at their shoes going, I'm like, this is freaking punk. Freaking let's do it, so I have to move when I'm at a concert. So I found that taking pictures allowed me to continuously to move. And it was the most satisfying, the most gratifying way to achieve art. Like I could take a picture, mess with it, and then I'm happy. Or if I'm not happy, 2 days later I could go to the next concert. I could go to Happy Dog. I could go, all the various places that are in that area. And so for me, it was also another way of finding people because I didn't know anyone. Where am I going to find people? And I had some music friends before I left, so I kind of connected with Dan. Oh, shoot. Forget Dan's name, but he's a saxophone player, amazing jazz musician. Can't think of his name, but that's why I started going to Bop Stop. I knew he was there. They had like freeform jazz nights, and I would sit, chill out, practice with the camera, and then I go, oh, and then I want to find a band, and I just keep on traveling around, finding the, Mayhalls, what is it like there, what's it like here, so it gave me a reason to go out, and it was always exciting, because a lot of good musicians, and you can generally every day of the week you can find music still in Cleveland. Yeah.
Do you live around there on the west side?
Yeah, Ohio City area. Yeah, so it's nice. It's nice. There's a few places, not as much as there used to be, and that's still pre-COVID, Things kind of changed and around. But the Fantasy Complex has been bought, and they're renovating, and now they're opened up slowly to more music. I remember with Fantasy. And so that's
the one with the pirate ship in
there?
there?
Yeah. And they said they're going to keep the pirate ship. I'm like, all right,
cool,
you can spend millions, but you can keep the pirate ship.
So they're keeping it a music venue.
Yeah.
I had heard that like they bought it and no more music venue. But that was when it got bought a long time ago. So and,
maybe
the Foundry's right across the street from
Foundry,
there, right?
yeah. Oh, the various names of that place, yeah. I still remember the Blind Lemon.
The Blind Lemon's the first time I went there.
Yeah.
I was like 19. I had to sneak in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They didn't care, man. I was sneaking. I know. I was like going there young too, but it was that was that metal row. You go basically Wednesday through Sunday or Wednesday through Saturday, and you would have metal, rock, just jamming out, and I'm like, yes. And you could just go from one to the other. It was wonderful.
And the Hi-Fi Club was next, right?
Yeah. And then I think they had some kind of flying animal, maybe, and and now it's the Foundry. Yeah. So. Yeah.
If you ever play there, I'm sure some musicians know out there, especially with the local shows, they print out a new menu for every show where they rename their like sandwiches after the bands that are playing.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa, that's cool. All right, I'm gonna have
I
to.
wonder if they still do that though. That was like 2015 or 16 that I remember playing there last.
That's a lot of work too. Every time, you know. I'll have to check in. I haven't been.
They seem
there in a minute.
like they want to keep that kind of a old school club, like rock and metal club. It's nice and gritty in a good way.
Yeah.
Kind of rock club you would see in a movie. You know.
Ooh, yeah.
It's kind of like the grog shop of the West Side. You ever been over there?
Oh yeah. Grog shop. Both of the locations, and obviously now just the one up the hill a little bit. Yeah, sometimes I'm disappointed when I find out I haven't been to a place. You know, I'm like, what? How have I not been there? Should I admit to this? So I started with concert photography. I do that constantly, and that has helped me network and find people, like I was saying, John Trunk with Cleveland Films, and we do now weddings, you know, and he takes that video over there. It's tough. I guess you guys would know, and I think it's similar to bands that play. There's not much money, you know, and I love concerts. I love like working with shooting with a concert. So if like anyone's a photographer and you want to get your skills better, go to concerts, because you can't use your auto everything. You have to start manually. And for me, it was a nice push to learn how to manually use the lens, manually figure out the ISO, the aperture, all that stuff, because you can be faster than the camera and you can be better than the camera. And so like concert photography was that's where it was. That helped me so much to be a photographer. I think like if anyone needs first steps, do that. You know, take your walks into the woods, take pictures of flowers, which I do, you know, but definitely go somewhere where you have to be fast and you have to constantly get that movement. And in concert photography, you know, if you're playing, right, you got to get that rhythm that the person's playing with, especially the musician or the singers. You got to get when they're going or blowing out, or that look. So that's something I've found that I am good at. Like I can get that look or that expression, and you have to get it with a breath, because depending on how good your camera is, any movement, it's going to be blurry. So I have to get it just when that guy's going to be or female's just going to be right there. Now I have a little bit better camera. I can be a little bit lazier, but it really helps. It helps with focusing on how is your camera going to work and everything.
Yeah, there's a lot to it. Like when I first got the camera that we're shooting on right now, I tried to shoot my brother's band, and it was just garbage. It was absolute garbage. He asked me about the pictures. I'm like, don't ask about them. You know, but like it goes to, I think that's an f2.8.
Yeah.
It was a very dark show, and I just couldn't get anything. When I had to leave it open too long, everything was super blurry. Because they're playing.
Did you ever shoot at 5 o'clock lounge? That's where we're talking about.
Yeah. Ooh, I yelled that one a little loud. I hear the reverb from the drums. I'm like, oh. 5 o'clock. Yeah, in that back little section.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the greatest of lighting. There's certain places like, if I was arrogant, I'd say I don't even go to, because the lighting sucks so bad. I wouldn't bring my camera into it.
Yeah.
I've been able to do 5 o'clock. It's okay. But, you know, sometimes there's just some places don't have a light on the person. Or like, what is the Winchester? Lovely lights, all kinds of different colors. But, man, you can have, if you have a bigger band up there with over 3 people, 4 to 5, then those people are going to be in the dark.
Yeah.
And that bums me out. You know, like I want to get the sax player or the trombone player, but of course they're back here. You know, sometimes when I shoot and when I'm paid to shoot and I show up to shoot, I'll talk with the band. I'll be like, okay, I'll try to get there early, see where the lights are, maybe on the last band, or I'm really familiar with it, and I'll say, okay, I want you to stand here, here, and here. Or think about standing here, because otherwise I'm not going to get you, and you're just not going to be part of it. The Winchester, I think they upgraded the lights since COVID, it's nice, but they still have just dark spots, and it's like,
It's a big stage.
yeah, it is.
For the room.
Yeah. It's got great sound there.
It's
Yeah.
my favorite place on the west side.
Great sound. They're usually the sound guys are really good there too. There's certain places, man, that's not good sound guys, you know. And I can't imagine how hard it is for how many places to get people to come in and do sound. Like, what was it? Brothers Lounge. Whoa, loved it. Beautiful sound, beautiful stage, beautiful light. Everything was always perfect there. But do you know what's going on there? Are they going to open?
I think they recently opened back up.
Did
I
they?
saw
Yeah.
something about that.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
somebody
I knew
did
they had
read
new
into it.
owners. So I wonder if they're going to are they going to do music? I would assume so. That's a big stage.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
And we'll have them on here and grill them.
Yeah. What are you going to do? That's
Bring
a fun-
back the 10 by 3. That's demands number one
Yeah.
from the scene.
Yeah, 10 by 3?
Yeah, Brent Kirby, if you know the guy, used to run a songwriters thing, like showcase
Yeah.
/ open mic, scheduled open mic every Wednesday. 10 acts, 3 songs each. And that went on for almost a decade.
Meg Stumpka? Am I saying it
Yeah,
right?
Stepka.
Stepka.
Yeah.
She does that, and then thinks she's been doing that out of the Beachland.
Yeah.
I think I don't know.
A monthly, I think.
Yeah, it's a monthly. He was doing it every week. That you know.
Yeah, I'm hoping that one that Meg's doing catches up too. It's I haven't heard much about it yet.
Yeah. Talk about a person of the music scene that just goes. Wow. Meg is I'm blown away by her. I mean, when she took the reins of COVID and said, let's do it, you know, with the live. Did you see any of the 48-hour music?
48-hour, the virtual music festival.
Yeah, 48-hour virtual music festival. Yeah, I mean, that was impressive on its own to coordinate. I know once it got going, she started bringing in people to help her with it. And I think even Ingenuity helped sponsor her for an Ingenuity Cleveland. And, but yeah, she is a musical force, you know. Yeah.
Cool.
It's a nice thing about having like a music thing when you get hit with the an issue like COVID or something, like you're full of creative people to figure out solutions to make things work, you know.
Yeah, it was. It's so. If sometimes it feels like it was just a weird dream, because I'm like, we did have COVID, I know, but what did I do that year when we didn't work really? Nothing. I got nowhere. You know.
I feel like we still haven't completely landed back to normal.
No, I don't know if we ever will.
Yeah.
I mean, COVID.
Ooh.
A lot of things got their rhythms disrupted, and now they have to start back up. And you're probably never going to be the same.
Yeah.
We'll still make it work.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I had tickets, or I have tickets for Rage Against the Machine, and that was moved back 2 times now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so finally they're coming in July. I cannot wait. Like of my generation or my early 20s music, when I couldn't wait to see certain metal bands, that was one I never got to see.
The one time I had tickets, I was in high school, and they were with the Beastie Boys, and the tour got canceled before their Cleveland date. Somebody broke their hands, and they just canceled the whole tour because I think it was just the last 9 or 10 dates of it, the whole North American one. But yeah, I've always wanted that too, and I hope I can make that one. Because Tom Morello is a huge guitar hero of mine.
Yeah.
I got to see Audioslave one time.
Ooh, yeah.
And personally, I liked Audioslave better than Rage and Soundgarden. Like they hold a higher in my mind.
Wow.
It's a hot take.
I love all.
Wow.
We got a hot
I
take
know.
over
This
here.
is the reaction I always get. I mean, the energy and sound of that rhythm section with Tom Morello and meets the diverse songwriting of this instead of the instead of the rapping.
Yeah.
It's like a whole new sound. It's a mesh of two amazing things that just come out into what might not seem like an original sound, but I thought it was a super original sound.
Okay, I'll have to check them out again, because, I mean, yeah, Rage.
But if you don't love Chris Cornell, then you probably won't get where I'm coming from.
I don't know if I don't love them.
I hold those other two bands at such a high standard that
Yeah,
it's tough
yeah,
for
man.
me. That's
I know.
like
Yeah, dude,
I love
each
Audio
of them
Slave.
are like in my top 15 bands of all
okay.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You look like you just got hit by a truck.
I'm trying to I was like, I want to hear songs now. I want to hear them. No,
I wish Rage would. They probably have new music, but they haven't even hit the studio, have they? Since they got back together.
I don't know. I mean, they had 2 years. They better done something in that time. I don't know. I just can't wait. I just want that energy. I want to hear it live. I want to go leave deaf, for a couple hours, so I can go, what? I'm getting to that point where younger people, they'll say something to me and I'll be like, what? And they'll be like, I was like, I'm sorry, too much rock and roll when I was younger. And then they go, oh, okay, and then they speak up. Yeah. But they all mumble. It's all those mumble rapper kids.
So you talked about coming
Go
back
for
to
it.
Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
So you are you from here originally?
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
What part of town are you from?
Ohio City. I was raised and grew up in the West Side, so a city kid.
Cool. You want any more of this?
Oh, you can go for it, man.
Last drop.
Yeah.
Last
Yeah.
drop of our bourbon
Yeah,
whiskey
actually
finished
got
with
some still.
Maplewood
Good.
from Cleveland Underground.
Delicioso.
Cool. Hopefully they'll send us a new bottle for all the free advertising.
Yeah.
Yeah, I grew up in Ohio City, and I was just at that age, at the tail end of a lot of raves. The rave scene was getting pretty much commercialized, but there was still, factory and underground places being thrown and them getting kicked out and stuff. So then I switched to metal and Tadpole. Tadpole is my friend's band, and they were just, that era sound. Really good guys, good musicians. So it was fun to be Gosh, I didn't realize it, but I was taking photos then. I just saw. No, really, I forgot about that. This relates, because I was looking at some old photos, and someone sent me a photo of me at one of their shows with a camcorder. I was like, oh, no shit.
With a VHS in it?
Yeah, man, I'm pretty sure, because my arm was like this. It had to be a big one. Yeah. But so I've always loved music. I've toyed around and practiced, but I don't have that. I don't sit and discipline myself to do it all the time. So I find that I love it. I want to participate with it. And, music is part of all of the arts. Musician needs a cover art. Where are they going to get that? Musicians need the studios. All these things. So much revolves around music. I love it. Like a lot of the times, not a lot of the times, but I also joined Ingenuity Cleveland when I got back. After about a year or so, the idea of I need to find a group to be with. I need to find organization to hang out with. And
Can you tell us a little bit about what Ingenuity is as a
Ooh.
collective?
Yeah.
'Cause it gets brought up a lot, but we've never really talked about it. I'm sorry to interrupt your story.
Oh,
though.
no.
I keep meaning to ask this question when people bring it up.
Oh, you got someone right here that can talk about it. Yeah.
All
So, Ingenuity Cleveland, it's an art and music festival. Or that's how it really started off years ago. Everyone's like, ooh, it was under the bridge. And then it would be placed in different places around downtown Cleveland and other spots. Now they have a central location, like a warehouse on off East 55th and St. Clair in that area. And they have a big frickin' party. There's, I want to say 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 music stages. Maybe a couple of those are really small stages, like solo acts or just 2 people. But then they open up these truck bays, and so they have this, 4-bay now stage. So they have 1, 2, 3 of those going, and then there's a couple inside and other places. So then they have the art aspect, and it's an art and technology. You'll have people that are engineers, like legit. I have an engineering job, and then I come here and I do art. They won't admit that they're artists, but they help out the artists. The artists might come in and say, oh, I would like to build this thing that does this. And the engineer will go, okay, well, if you want to do that, this is how we would do it. So the engineers come in and make sure there's the safety aspect. It can be done, so you'll have electrical engineers, other engineers. Sorry. Sorry, coughing into this. You can fade that out later, right? The cough.
No.
Oh no. How about the swearing?
it's in.
Because they've been really good so far.
We add in
We don't
extra
give a
swearing.
fuck.
Oh shit.
We add in more.
Man, I've been so good at. Now I'm gonna swear like a pirate. Be like your first one banned from YouTube. Too much swearing. So
They'd have that? Too
Ye-
much swearing and they'll ban you?
they will not credit, but they won't send you commercials. Like if
Yeah.
you swear too
Get
much,
demonetized.
demonetize. That's
Don't worry,
the
we're not
word.
monetized at all.
I think drinking also helps with the demonetization.
We need to hit 1,000 subscribers before we can get monetized.
What are we going to do with that, 8 cents they give us?
Oh,
Booze.
All right, let's start planning our budget. All right, we're getting 16 cents this month.
so that was like when I first joined. I didn't know what. I just wanted to help and be part of this, and that has been the biggest game changer for me. The connections are just all over the place. That's when I started meeting other photographers, like another photography group, other individuals. And what I find are generally the people I'm meeting at Ingenuity, they say what they do and they do what they say. It's because you have to show up and you're going to be making this installation or you're going to be doing something. So you can find people you can count on. And I think that's one of the biggest things to look out when you do something like this, right? Like, oh boy, he's not here again. I guess I'll have to do a solo interview again. But like
That's never happened. I always show up in Chuck's basement. Well, I think we both called in sick once and
Yeah.
had to move it, but
yeah.
And our guests were fantastic and rescheduled for us.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
I wouldn't do it without him.
But you,
As long as he's, in
Around.
the country.
you could even think about you could do a podcast from Ingenuity.
Yeah.
You could say, hey, Ingenuity, I'm Cuyahoga Sound, Crooked River Sound, but sorry, but I was like, I'm Cuyahoga Sound, and we do a music podcast. Blah blah. Blah. Could we do? You would send that proposal in, and the art director Emily would say yay or nay, or ask you more questions. And then say you're an artist that wants to do something, you could say, I want to do this. You send it in, and she'll say, well, how much do you think it's going to cost? So you have to send in your budget, and they do give a little bit of a stipend. Like wood is supplied, but when you start going overboard, no, I shouldn't say overboard, when you're wanting to go to the tens, and bring in a lot of extra stuff that's costly, that won't be covered by them, but they provide the other assistance. Like a lot of artists don't know how to use electronics, but there's going to be someone there that can help you. And that's what I find great, because I now try to diverge into more digital stuff, and I know who I can use to help me, and I know, so that's exciting. Otherwise, I would just been like, I don't know, how do I do these things? So my skill set has gone up faster and faster because I joined them as an organization. Yeah, I can't say enough about Ingenuity Cleveland and what they do. Especially, like, have you been? Have you been to
I
it?
have not.
Yeah, I've been to it.
Yeah. So the party
I've been
is...
to it at night, the one time I went.
Yeah, that's when you go. I mean, you can go during the day. You know, there's music going on from when it starts. Was it 3 days? You know, the first night's fun, second night's great. The first... I was asked to help with a stage. So with another artist, Bex, thank you, we did a music, and I brought some poetry friends, and so we kind of split the bill. She brought in her musical friends, I brought in my musical friends, and it was like in the upstairs, like beverage area. Freaking awesome, you know. Oh man, the energy that goes on. Everyone's happy. Everyone's drunk, you know, and the energy that goes on. But it's not just about the music. You know, the music is great, but there's always the art. And if you go one day, you're not going to see everything, because I find that it's overwhelming. You could see everything, but to actually comprehend and know you're seeing things takes 2 days. And that's why I did. And I talked to a lot of people that do the same thing. They're like, what? I didn't realize it was going to be this. But we have like 1, 2, 3, 4. We had one main floor that was split in two, and then we did 2 more floors of an old big warehouse. It's like Osborne Industries or something. You know, so it's dirty, it's grimy. Yeah, don't wear white shoes. But it's fun because I get to help, and I get to use my hands, you know, and I get to build stuff, and then you have this big event. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely got to make it.
Nice. What time of the year is it? Is it the same date every year, or weekend of a certain month?
Generally it's the last weekend of September, so it's kind of like 26th, 27th, somewhere around there. Yeah.
Cool. That's right. Yeah. Now I remember why I missed it last year. I was in Tennessee.
Oh. Yeah, and then Ingenuity itself is expanded. So with photography, I guess I'm kind of jumping to ideas there, but
It's all right.
I've been able to get helped with photography. Well, that's why I'm here, photography. So I do a lot of their events. Like I'll photograph their events and get that aspect. So for me, it's been financially helpful, you know, and the connections. And then them as an organization, within the time I've been there, they keep on expanding in their footprint of doing things outside of their building. Like now they have a community event called Neighbor Nights that happens once a month on Thursday, the third Thursday? I don't know. So they have that where they're trying to go from outside of their 4 walls and bring the idea of what Ingenuity is into the community. So they're just not like this island, you know.
Yeah.
It'll let people know that this is here. You want to know more about music or art? Well, not so much music at that time, but it's more like the art and what can be done. And like I think they're a big sponsor of bringing in musical acts and art acts. So like Juneteenth that was downtown. I could be a little wrong, but from my understanding is that they get the contract for that, and then they find the people within their list of people of like, oh yeah, you're a musical act, you're gonna do this. We need these artists to show up. So that's been great to see how organizations run for me.
So if you got an organization and you're looking for an act, you got any ideas, Evan, of where they should look?
They should look on www. These people still say that?
Well, back in my day, it had 3 W's. I don't know what you kids are calling it now.
www. dot.
6 W's?
I think I just said 3.
Twice in a row.
Okay. So, www. dot listencle.com.
Yeah, I think that's what I was hitting at.
Listen CLE has a database. They're starting of all Cleveland musicians.
It's up and
bands,
running and successful so far.
entertainers, like anything you need for an event.
Yeah.
It serves as the artist's electronic press kit and gives you links to all of places you can find anything out about them that you need.
And we've heard it's super simple to get yourself on there.
Super simple.
Super
you just go to the
simple.
website and apparently it's self-explanatory from there.
Thanks for the explanation. But what else can we find there?
You can find links to all the mood-based playlists
Yes.
they have. Yeah, 9 mood-based as opposed to genre-based playlists. They're all several hours long. Get you through a few days.
And it's local artists, Cleveland area, some from Columbus, but
That's
local
right.
Columbus.
Mostly
Okay.
Northeast Ohio
Yeah.
artists.
We got
Yeah.
What is Love, Groove, Energy Boost, Chill, Feel Good, Misery Loves Company,
Rock Out.
Rock Out, Night Driving. I was watching Knight Rider the other day.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. The first episode is bonkers, man. My buddy texted me. He's like, "You got to watch the first episode of Knight Rider. It was on like Paramount or something.
I would go back and watch that.
It's something else, man. It's like different than the rest of the series.
Oh, it's their pilot episode,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It's like 2 parts that are like 45 minutes each.
Wow. I remember watching that, but like as 10, 11 years old with my dad. I don't really have huge memories of the episodes, but I remember liking it when I was younger.
The car was cool.
Yeah. To think about it like, oh, it's a talking car. I mean, we're there.
Yeah. Well, they had there was some like Chrysler LeBarons that would talk. I remember my buddy had one. It was like late 80s car, and it would always be like, "The door is ajar. The door is ajar," and it like he couldn't shut it off. The door was not open.
Oh,
so we'd just be
no.
driving, and had the CD player sitting on the dash with like the little cassette thing you inserted. Probably listening to Chili Peppers or something. The car's just yelling at us the whole time. The door's ajar.
Speaking of Chili Peppers, I've been listening to their new album basically every day since it came out.
Really?
I got to give it a full listen. I got through like 2 songs and just like things have been crazy around here, so I wasn't able to I want to listen to it, not just have it in the background. And that's kind of what I had. And I'm like, I want to listen to it first and then let it be background music.
It's got a great flow to the album, like most of the other ones do. But this is like classic Chili Peppers with Frusciante work.
Awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's got aspects of all of the albums he's on. I'd say it's mostly closely related to By the Way.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm excited. So a little faster pace, kind of a little.
There is, a little faster paced at times and really riff driven. And
Yeah.
Right where it starts off, you can tell, oh, this is not like it's been in the 2010 albums.
Yeah.
It's back.
I mean, I liked a lot of their 2000, those albums, but it was softer.
Yeah.
Oh. Listen CLE so Michael McFarlane, right?
Yeah.
Going out hitting the music scene, doing photography. I meet Michael. I meet Amanda. I think I met Amanda through Ingenuity, and that's when Michael came in. I think she brought him in. I don't remember the exact details. Don't get mad. But yeah, I talk about people just doing it and doing it. Yeah. Their Listen CLE is wow. They're doing so much work behind the scenes, meetings, organizations, getting this out there, and it seems now they're really starting to get that traction going, and it's like good for them,
Yeah.
promoting Cleveland, making it stand out. Yeah,
They work
Yeah.
their asses off, and
Totally.
it's working for them. I
It is, yeah.
see them more and
Yeah,
more.
but they have the passion for it
Yeah.
and the energy and focus for it.
And the skill set too.
Right.
I mean,
It's a good formula for getting shit done.
yeah. Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. There's some really good doers in Cleveland, and they stay busy. I say this, I guess this can be seen as a negative, but it's Cleveland's poor. Like, we're one of the poorest cities in the major city in the country. Means we can buy things kind of cheap, or we used to be able to buy houses cheap, and we could do certain things and live pretty easily. But most artists, that means they can't live off their art.
Most of us.
Yeah, and that's a disappointment, and that's what I see might be the crutch or the worst side about Cleveland is when someone realizes their value, they go. And which is going to happen no matter what city you are. Maybe someone's in Chicago and goes, well, I'm going to go to L.A. because I can make twice as much or 3 times. Here it's like 5 times if you leave. So I accept that, right? Like, I accept that, but how can we still make it better here? How can we help artists that are here? And if they do plan to leave, let them leave with more tools in their pocket, so they're more talented where they go somewhere, so they'll stand out. It would be nice to get to the place where Cleveland can retain that money and that talent and make it a more, look at Columbus, man. Columbus, there's a lot going on down there for artwork, music. It's frustrating to admit to see what's going on with that scene. I follow a few photographers and artists down there. It's like, wow, there's a lot happening and getting beautiful work. So it's like, it's tough because you do have very talented people, but it's always, the nonprofits divvy up the money to their $150,000 CEOs, and or they spend $50,000 to bring an artist from out of town because, ooh, look, it's an artist from out of town. Instead of spending that money to divide it within the community, I see this is a personal bias, right? Like, I find that there should be more money spent in Cleveland by these larger nonprofit corporations that like to throw parties but like to bring people from outside. I'm not going to, I don't want to give examples or anything, but I've noticed it.
I was just about to ask.
I can't.
Which
I will
nonprofits
be
are we
so in trouble.
Who can we write our emails to?
I will be so not allowed to be in a lot of rooms again.
That's our YouTube Premium subscribers.
Oh,
we'll
yes.
have that information. Yeah, also our Snapchat Premium subscribers.
Yeah, we'll get 18 cents for that.
That's 18 and a half on
All our
Snapchat.
Patreon.
Yeah, because there's some old money here. Patreon? Yeah.
No.
We got nothing.
That's
But
a joke.
Grandma, she's got you down.
We've got Cleveland liquor and a basement.
It builds, right? Like,
yeah. We
it's-
got a sign.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I like the on air. Yeah.
My wife got me that for Christmas.
Oh yeah. Well, if we were doing this for the money, we wouldn't be doing
I
it.
know.
Wouldn't be talking to me. Thanks.
Honestly, we do it just for the conversations. It's cool to talk to all these people, man.
Every couple weeks, just to get to come hang out.
Yeah, I'm excited to do more of your back histories because I know there's gonna be a lot of people I know. So to hear that little bit of story of how they came up or what project they might be working on, where you don't have that time to talk to them for an hour.
Yeah.
So it's like Gabe again. What?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was one of the most informative for me personally because I was just asking questions that I personally have always had about the Bob Stop, and it was perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's so I don't know, like so that I like being within organizations to understand how things are moving. Like, what are they doing or what are they thinking? Now, in my dream world, I would like to see a South by Southwest in Cleveland. Not maybe South by Southwest, even though they did have branch ones. I think Toronto and some other place. I want to say Nashville, right? But
North by North Coast.
yeah, like there we go. I'm sure they'll sue us. But I would like to see something like that here. I'd like to see something where there is a week of music, movies, seminars, lectures, education, whatever they do, seminar, I guess is the same thing. But where we can have everyone under the one roof, because everyone I find is in their silo. You know, the Writers Guild will have their big event for a couple days. The movies, there's a couple of them. But movie people need writers, and movie people need musicians, and and I've been reading on South by Southwest how it started and what it's done for. You can read into your 60, which might be close for
Getting there.
but like you can
We
just
won't
see.
reveal our ages.
No, never. But you can see what it did for all those people involved. It helped spur, and what I see, I compare it to being at Ingenuity, is like you have cross-pollinating of different talents within one space. You're going to create something completely new, or you're going to make something better. Like how long, or you can do it in a faster time. And that's what I've seen from South by Southwest, is that they were able to completely change that game within 5 to 10 years, because now people were and they were interacting. The producers could meet the musicians and blah blah, and then it became movies, and then it became this, and then, so now it's just this huge thing that helps everyone within that region and way out of the region. So if Cleveland had some regional event like that, I think that would be the game changer for us. And again, I don't.
Yeah, that event alone, like, put Austin on the national spotlight map as an art city. It's like the newest big art city.
Yep.
And it's a big chunk responsible from South by Southwest.
I would totally agree, and I think it might be the wrong comparison, but well, like you said, it made it an art city, and then what happens? People want to live there. Yeah. It's not.
And now it's got LA traffic.
Yeah, right. I know. I've listened to those. Like these LA people. Yeah.
That's my biggest hatred in traveling to big cities is traffic. I hate, like, that's one of the reasons that I love living in Cleveland. Maybe one of the reasons I've never actually left, even though I've talked since I was 18 about leaving.
Well, 480 is horrible.
Only during rush hour.
Yeah. It's where was I going with that? The scene, like, they're always, the politicians are like, we have a brain drain. We can't retain businesses. We can't retain anything. I'm like, well, we do have the arts that helps retain some. I mean, the theater district is, one of the biggest in North America.
Yeah.
A lot of things happen there. But, there's no music venue other than House of Blues downtown now. You can't go anywhere else to see music, even like a band or a bar band. It's not happening. And so what keeps people into an area or makes them want to go somewhere? And unfortunately, the long-term things were gentrification, like Ohio City and Tremont. I grew up like, I'm not saying I have a problem with suburban people moving in. I have no problem with a neighborhood being renovated and fixed up. Many of my friends, when I was like my 20s, I'm running around with Chris Pulse, and he's a DJ, and they're throwing their parties. Neil Chastain, they're doing their thing. Saf Mod, and then most of them were suburban kids and all living in Tremont. But then, but they could rent a storefront for like $200. The artists could be there, and that's what made other people interested, from restaurants to renovating a house to fixing it up. But if Cleveland wants to do it en masse, that's the same thing you have to do. You have to retain the artists. You can't let them go to Columbus or let them go to LA, or at least in the same variety or force that they're going now. And a lot of people are coming back. I've seen it at my age. There's the people returning, and they're coming with a new skill set, and they're helping others with their knowledge. And you want to be more successful band? Here, this is what you need to do. You want to be more successful photographer? Here's what we've done. And they might even connect you with LA or something. So there's nothing bad about leaving.
Yeah,
but
that also is helpful because it embraces reality of the present.
Mm-hmm.
And like this is like to help you right now achieve your goal. It's not going to happen in Cleveland. But you're Cleveland, born and bred. Let's get you out to where you need to go. Get your skills all top shape before you hit that next market.
Right.
And then we can be proud of you.
Yeah.
As we continue to grow ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
Try to get to our potential as well.
Yeah, and that's what I hear it a lot within the music art scene is don't look at anyone as competition. They are your friend. Learn from them. If they don't want to talk to you, then they don't have to be your friend. And I finally, after about 4 years, I get nervous. I'll go to a shoot, like a event shooting, and I'll see other photographers or like a concert, and I would always kind of clam up. Even though I'm super personal, but I would clam up with other photographers because then I would feel like, oh God, I've only done this for a year or two, or I don't want to admit I don't know something. So finally this year I was like, okay, I'm gonna approach every photographer I see, at least introduce myself, say hi. If they don't want to talk, you'll figure it out and be on. And thank God I'm doing it because, other people like, oh, I know you from Instagram, but I never met you in person. Or like, oh, yeah, we know blah, blah, blah. So it's been more open and I can ask questions like, oh, you've got this filter on your flash. What does that do? What does this do? And I was so scared to do it. But it's, but it's that, Cleveland has a lot of talent. I don't think there's any question we do. But getting back to that idea of retaining people, if have something that the arts can retain, we will attract different, what would we say, West Coast businesses or something. That's why Intel is near Columbus, because it's got an art scene. It's got a huge fashion scene. I've heard rumors that they say Columbus is the third fashion city of America.
Oh, I didn't.
New York, L.A., Columbus, and then they'll argue Columbus or Miami.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And
I had no idea.
yeah, I've been learning this. But it's because the Victoria's Secret's there, the L brand, and a couple other brands, and then you have more boutique brands that shift there, and they have a fashion design school that's very high ranked. And man, I follow some people on Instagram. It's like, wow.
Also a super progressive city.
Yeah.
San Francisco of Ohio.
Really? Wow. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I need to go down. I'm going down there Friday. So.
Cool. Yeah.
So I think that's. So if you hear anyone else that wants to start a South by Southwest here, just send them my info, or anyone out there. Let's do it. It takes a lot.
Anything we can do to help. That sounds great.
Well, I'll definitely start.
We will do interviews 10 a day.
Roll them in.
Well,
Maybe we'll have to filter out people that submit. We can be in that seat for once.
Well, in a little way. I mean, I think about it. I don't know if I can. To do it, it takes a huge amount of energy, but I am finding, slowly but surely, who does events, who's done big events. Are they interested in this? Now I'll pose the same thing. What about this? And you get a variety of ideas like, oh, they've tried it before. It's never going to happen. Or, yeah, that sounds great. Or, or some people are like, wow, and they'll have an engaging conversation. But it's also like, to do an event like that, that's beyond anything I can comprehend. So I like to try to help Ingenuity as much as possible, and throw my own little small events.
Oh yeah.
And hopefully
There's thousands of people involved with a festival
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it happened. It's not like it didn't happen, and it happened at some point.
It's still growing every year.
I think they've cut it down. They're trying to make it smaller in a sense because it's become so overwhelming. Now it becomes, this isn't why it began. It was supposed to be independent culture. Now it's this big corporate thing.
Yeah.
They should do the same thing with Bonnaroo Festival.
Yeah, right? Yeah. So it's make it smaller. Yeah. I have you been to Bonnaroo?
No.
No, I have a thing for going to where there's that many people in one place.
I used
drunk.
to like aspire to play at Bonnaroo
Ooh.
with some of my old bands, and then I told myself I'm not going unless I'm playing, like, for the first time. And then it got to the point where like it was super like exclusive and it wasn't just like trying to make it or like touring bands. It was mostly like jam bands and like underground music at first.
Yeah.
And now it's like it's okay. Like, that's progress for that. But there, in the wake of that, like, now there's hundreds of smaller festivals like that pop up everywhere around the country. So, so maybe I take back what I said, because like that it not existing like that anymore. Probably just like this South by Southwest in Cleveland idea inspired a lot of smaller markets to say, well, let's try to do something that's like Bonnaroo used to be. And now we've got like summer camp in Illinois, if you ever heard of that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like Peach Fest that is in Scranton, Pennsylvania.
I've heard of these, yeah. I think I know someone that went to the Illinois one. And I love smaller festivals. They're fun. I lived in Ithaca for a while, and that's where I was for about 10 years.
Do they do a festival there?
Grassroots.
Grassroots, that's right.
Yes, yes. Who is their main... Donna and the Buffalo started Grassroots, and they're pretty. And then again, that was one organization or a group of people that said, "Hey, let's just throw a party for ourselves and our friends," And now they have like 3 Grassroots or some crazy thing. Ithaca, like the Keys in North or South Carolina. And people will follow these grassroots, and it's a nice little hippie thing. I love it. You can run around with your shoes off and eat pepperoni and mushroom pizzas. And not worry about getting grease on yourself.
Good, man. That was subtle. So Cleveland's tried a few of those over the years, right? Do they still do the Laurel Live one every year?
I think Laurel Live happens. Yeah. And who's that? James Carroll? Are you familiar with James Carroll?
Yeah, I know James
Yeah.
Carroll.
He did the one Neo Cleveland or Neo Bike?
Neo-Cycle?
Neo-Cycle. Yeah. He was doing that, and that's how I got introduced to him. I was like, oh, I'm going to go to Edgewater.
Yeah.
And then, oh, look, there's music here on a 90-degree day in the sun. But it was good. It was good music. It was unfortunate it just didn't have, it didn't have the attendance to that space could hold. The capacity just wasn't there. But like James, getting to meet James and his experience, and he'll kind of guide me on ideas and perspectives of where to go. like so to make I kind of alluded to this, but to make money just within the music scene is like I couldn't do it. Like I feel bad now because I know what my rate is. Like the music scene helped me get to a place, but now it's like, well,
Is it harder to get jobs? With a
ones that would pay me $200 to show up, yeah, that's what they would make. But that's where realistically, if I'm going to shoot for an hour and then go home and edit and then all the other things, yeah, it would be about 200, 150. But
Let's use that to get back to the photography. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I really don't know shit about photography.
yeah,
I'm
that's what I was kind of,
interested.
yeah.
So you're talking about editing. What is the time ratio with shooting versus getting to the finished product? All that computer stuff.
Well, as I've gotten more knowledge, the time ratio is determined by man. That's a tough one, right? Like when I
It
first
probably varies, right?
right
That's
when
not
I
a fair
first
question.
started to shoot, I would just shoot a lot until I slowly refined how many photos I felt I needed to take and realize when I took it, I knew it was good. I didn't have to go home and look at it. I could just feel it was good. Look at the little screen. So in the beginning, it would take me a lot longer, right? Because I had more photos to look at, more photos to decide from. And it's tricky. Like, so if Michael asked me to do a photo shoot, which he'll do every so often, I want to give him tons of them. I think they're all wonderful, and I want to show them all, right? So the time ratio, I'm going to go over anything I should do because I want him, because he's my friend, to see all the good shots and give him lots of options. But say like, oh, there's one band. I won't talk about that, but but they paid me for a set. I showed up, and then I would only want to spend 2 hours afterwards at home on the computer, and that is wishful thinking. No matter what, I'm probably going to spend a little longer. So I still am in that spot where I want to make it almost perfect. And to do it economical and to the rate I would charge, I'd have to do it faster. But and that becomes my problem, right? Because now internally, I'm like, I don't want to go out and shoot as much because I know I'm going to spend way too much time later, and financially, I'm making $10 an hour now, and if that. So, but I'm not going to send them a bad product. I'm not going to send something I know could take one more viewing or one more through to check it out. So like for a band, I'll send them about 30 pics, maybe less. And you have to determine which ones are good, which ones are bad. You try to get everybody except for the drummer. The drummers are on the back. You can never see them. No. And they're sweaty. They're the most sweaty ones. No. But it is, and it's
Have you seen
frustrating.
the door?
Oh, is there a drummer here?
Could have gone worse.
But it's like, and that was one of the things, like, I want to get, in the beginning, I want to get everyone. I want to make sure to give everyone equal time. And I found this last shoot, I was very much like, here's a couple, the drummer, couple, the bassist. They happen to be in the background, that's good. And then it ends up being the front guys, right? Because it gets hard with lighting in the back. And 9 out of 10 times I can spend 20 minutes, or okay, not 20 minutes, but I could spend a lot of time shooting someone in the back, and they're all going to be bad. So it's like, okay, I'm just going to try to get a few of them, and then I end up spending more time in the front. I've gotten good. I always get better. I just don't want to, and that's where it goes. It's tough, like that time to money ratio. you're going to be there longer than an hour at a shoot, most likely for a band. And no matter what, it's going to take about 2 hours. So if you would, $25 an hour, it's $75. I'm trying to get like 200, but I would not charge anyone that. I want, give me a free ticket. Can you get me a drink? And I'll shoot your band, and I'll give you a certain amount of photos at the end. It's more, it's become a love. Like, I love music. I love the challenge. I love to see the lights, the energy. But I've seen some photographers do a little better with their marketing, and they'll do like band shoot pics, like we're going to get together and pose and stuff. But what I find is a lot of people that are shooting bands, that's where they're starting, or that's the band's friend that's also a photographer. And it's not financially stable enough. And I don't know if it is anywhere else. Like, can you just be a concert photographer in New York, LA, Columbus? I don't know. But it's such a difference in what I could actually really charge, versus like if I'm going to go do like a family reunion or any other photography stuff.
Yeah.
And again, that's concert photography allows me to shoot a fan reunion or a birthday party better than any other person, I would think, unless they have a lot of time into it, because I know how to get right to that. It's a fast action movement, and I like that kind of, and then stepping back and kind of blending in.
Cool. What are you had one more thing?
No.
Okay. What are your favorite venues in the Cleveland area to shoot at?
Yeah, I got something to put on that too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking about, so would you find it easier when you're going into the editing process, do you have any venues that you're like, oh, I know this works great at this venue? Or do you have any bands where you're like, this editing process works great with this band?
Well, so,
Because then you got light and subject. That was my thought.
yeah, I mean, like, say someone said, I'm playing 5 o'clock and I'm going to pay you X amount of money. I go, that's nice, but how about we do it when you play somewhere else? No offense, 5 o'clock, but I like being there. Your shows are very reasonable, but the lighting isn't very good, like you're saying, I would suggest, well, why don't you go to Winchester, or you can get a gig at the Beachland Ballrooms, of course, has great lights. The Tavern, it's got good bad lights. You know what I mean? It's just, I think they redid their lighting system a little bit, I think.
I was just there last night in the Tavern.
Yeah, I haven't been there since they did it. So that was like, just stricken.
They just redid the whole ceiling and included like upgraded lighting.
Yes, I'm excited.
Within the last 3 months, I think.
Right, because that's very like, you can get a nice punkish kind of look. It's very, it's basically a spotlight on whoever's in front.
I love the Tavern. There's such a diverse shows down there. You can pull anything off in there.
Yeah. Oh, I've seen some good shows. Yeah, just in the Tavern. So
we did a jam night. Like they do a monthly jam night where musicians just come up and like play with people. Like we just team up and play whatever.
Ooh, really? I like jam nights.
The Great Lakes Groove Jam. Yeah, once a month. The next one will be May 31st.
All right. May 31st,
Runs
jam
about
night.
8 to 11:30.
You heard that here.
Yeah. Let's fill that place. It was nice. There was about 35 people there.
Oh, no shit. Yeah. I like jam nights. Even though I'm not a musician, sometimes I'm blown away. Like, it's like, whoa, you guys should form, right? That was something right there.
Oh, it's so cool. It's just like, so, like, I'm like, I'll come up and like meet some people that I'm playing with, and I like for some reason I'll ask them, how long you guys been playing together, and they're like, no, we just met, just like we just met you.
Wow. Yeah, that's cool.
And I'm like, duh, like that's why we're here. That's why we're all here. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, me and Chuck found some good ones together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think I'm answering the question because, like, there is a style like, oh, geez, what's this gentleman's name? He's a phenomenal concert photographer in town.
Older guy.
Younger cat. Like, he just got out of college before COVID. Blonde hair. Got beard too now. Maybe I got my beard because his was so cool. But really good. And he does a lot of nice in the camera tricks, like movement, how he spins it and takes the photo at the same time. Yeah, like he'll spin it so it's got the lights on the outside spin around, but it's focused in center. I'm like, oh man, I haven't figured that one out proficiently yet. And his lighting is good. So sometimes, like, I try to match whatever was there. I know some people will start changing the color of the lights and changing what was there. I usually just try to match that scene. I don't take any, like, really hardcore filtering on concert photography. I'll do it for shoots, like Malik. We did a shoot for his album, and I did a really particular filter that I was like, whoa, like now I use that for everything else. I love how it was just in there.
Yeah.
And it worked great for him. So am I kind of answering it? Because
Yeah,
I'm also
yeah. I
kinda
mean,
forgetting.
like, I very lightly started dabbling in photography. So, like, kindergarten level questions I have, and I'm asking out of, my own curiosity just as much as,
Yeah. Well, at first I didn't have Lightroom. I used the software that was provided by Canon, and they provide a pretty nice like Lightroom type software. A little clunky on the computer I had. It was like, oh God, I would sit here, move this dial, and then wait for everything to catch up. But that was the old computer I had. It was okay. But then once I got Lightroom maybe 2 years ago, that changed everything.
Yeah.
Changed everything. You can have a shitty camera that's something's freaking grainy, and you play with it enough, you can get it pretty much good enough for a camera, your camera phone screen. It gets to a monitor, but for this, and that's where the majority of people look at stuff, it's fine.
Yeah.
And that's also something I think about too, like, because I'd be really OCD and be like, oh, it's grainy, it's this, it's that. But no, man, if it has that emotional feeling to it, it's fine. It's grainy, It's fine that it's a little, maybe a little out of focus or something, I like that, or I accept it now.
Yeah.
Because I think for me as a photographer, it was very much into perfection. Like, I want the perfect shot. I want that perfect emotion. I want to show people on IG how great I am at this and all these other things. Now, I don't give a rat's ass about IG, except I do. I'm like, what do you mean only 10 likes on this? You people have no eye. But now I just go, whatever. You guys just don't know what's good. But I like it too. So with the concert photography, it's fun with concert and poetry. It's fun to give people photos. Like, if I get paid to show up by the concert promoter or event promoter, I'll provide the concert provider without any watermark stuff. But if anyone else wants anything, I'll just give them everything that's watermarked. And now I just learned this trick, or I thought of this trick, and I'll say, hey, if you would like to donate to me for providing you these photos, much appreciated. And I'll give them whatever my money stuff is. And so far, no one's taken me on that. But I think, that's just everyone's about tipping. You'll hear it culturally in different places. So I don't mind. It gets it out there. I like people, like, I'll see my stuff being promoted by someone on their, the little avatar. And I get kicks out of that. I'm like, I would just wish I could let everyone know that was me. But it feels good that people are saying, wow, I've got this great image of me. I'm going to use this as my promotion.
Yeah.
Do you get on people for, like, captioning photo credit?
Yes and no. So yes and no, you know what I mean? Like if it's on, I've used Facebook a little bit now. I'm starting to understand how to use it and not be used by it. Usually, if someone takes it from Facebook and they use it within that world, Facebook automatically kind of like credits you in some way or something. This came from that album and this is that artist. So that's been pretty cool. I've seen it on IG where people don't, and I'll just simply, put a little emoji, camera, and my hashtag. I don't say anything more than that. I don't think it's worth it. I am annoyed when there's one friend that does it constantly, but Malik. No, Malik is great. I mean, no, I didn't say it. No, but he. And I'm trying to be funny with Malik and saying that, but he has so many. He'll have like 30 photos, right? So if he doesn't do it with one or some of them, I don't care because he's wrapped it into a different type of promotion. So to say, oh, every time this is this photographer, I get it, and they're not watermarked because he bought them. So I'm like, whatever.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. I'll drive myself nuts and I'll get too frustrated.
Yeah. Good. That's good. You know what's worth it.
But I did go after Idea Stream because they took one of mine and then removed the watermark and didn't credit me. And then I followed up with them. I'm like, hey, this is my photo. This came from Facebook. I knew exactly where it came from. And they're like, they said they gave me some kind of like legal document to follow up with. I'm like, just fucking change it, assholes. Like, why do I have to go through this whole process?
Remove a watermark.
Yeah, though they enlarged it so the watermark was pushed out.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, and I was like, dicks. And I was like, and not even to go, well, whose is this? Obviously, it's watermarked. You're a big nonprofit corporation. You should know better. That, I got this. What am I going to do? Oh, let's figure out who this came from.
Well, we are running over on time. I'm just noticing, and we still gotta thank a couple more partners and sponsors.
Oh, okay.
Chuck Kaminsky.
Basement
please. Trader.
BasementTrader.com. Cool old guitars, basses, and other oddities. He buys, sells, trades, and repairs your musical gear.
Painesville, Ohio. If you're on the east side, hit up Chuck.
Chestnut Street, right off the highway.
Yep.
Well, if you need a guitar setup, which a lot of us do, he'll have it done in a day. Cool.
He's going to come hate you now.
A day, right?
I've seen it done in a day.
Yeah.
I've seen it. No guarantees coming from here.
Quick turnaround.
Quick turnaround, yeah.
Another photographer here, Jones Drones, Cleveland. Drone photographer. Our great friend Russell.
Yeah. Awesome dude.
We'll go to jonesdronescle.com to see all he has to offer. He has drones for sale. He offers lessons. He specializes in aerial photography, and he's one hell of a drone racer.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
That stuff's insane.
He did all the stuff for the All-Star game that was just here. All the drone work was Russell.
Ooh, cool.
Check
I'm
out
gonna
our
look- I'm gonna
podcast.
look him up.
The beginning of our podcast with him shows his commercials and stuff.
Okay.
From TNT.
Lastly, we got to thank Unrefined Cleveland, the 100% gluten and dairy-free meal prep service, using local vendors and products, always serving your food fresh, never frozen, and they will deliver to you if you're in 35 miles of downtown Cleveland, Ohio City, actually.
Ooh.
Yeah. And today is Wednesday that we're recording this.
Yep.
So we got to get our orders in by 11:59 to have delivery on Sunday. And if you're interested in the delicious stuff like the buffalo mac and cheese, protein pancakes, or my favorite, the Asian glazed chicken, go to their website, unrefinedls.com. And after you fill your card up, enter the promo code CS20 for 20% off your first order. That's for Cuyahoga Sound.
Yeah. All right. Well, should we do our last question?
Well, there's a few more things
Oh, you
I
got a
want to
couple?
know. Let's do
Oh, you
let's
go.
do this lightning round.
Oh, lightning round.
Okay,
You set up a
Don't get
timer?
elaborate. Oh man, I thought about the last question too. Oh, this is not that last question is not fair. So, but let's have some lightning round questions.
I guess so. You got
Okay.
your lightning round ready?
Yeah. Just answer it as quickly as you can.
Oh, boy.
So, what got you into starting photography?
Like I was saying, it was the easiest way for me to refine and work on art. And it was a great way for me to integrate myself into the art community of Cleveland.
Perfect. What about starting your own thing with photography? What inspired you to do that?
Starting my own
Same
Start your own
question.
business.
I like money.
All right, tell us about your camera collection.
Oh, okay. So my first camera was a Canon 6T. Not bad body. It's it's that your basic $200 camera you get from Target or wherever. The lenses were horrible, and when I look back to see some of the stuff I did, I'm like, wow, it wasn't that bad. Now I have a Canon 1DX Mark II with amazing lenses. Oh my gosh, does that make a difference? Expensive lenses, it makes a difference. Like I've taken those lenses and put it on my old small crop lens or crop camera, and they're phenomenal.
Cool.
So,
all right, it was supposed to be a lightning round. So okay.
but so that's the thing. If you look to get a camera and you want to upgrade, just upgrade your lens first before you go and buy a big new body, because you'll be blown away by just a new lens.
Cool. That's great advice.
Yeah.
Any Cleveland area photographers that inspire you or that you aspire to?
Anastasia, she's definitely old school concert photographer. Old school. I bought it recently from her. Prince. She was there at a Prince concert, and she had David Bowie, and she had this and that and this. I mean, I wish I could even get some of these people that come through now that are big name. I've been kind of poking House of Blues and these other places, but I am not getting any traction with them yet. But I'll just keep on poking.
Poke harder.
Oh, yeah, you gotta get that Limp Bizkit show. All right, and then lastly,
Right. My hat's on order, and
lastly, we always ask our guests for a movie recommendation.
this is not fair. I thought about this for 2 days straight. I talked to other friends. I just do the same thing, like, what's your favorite movie? It's hard because there's so many genres of things I like.
Cool. I'm glad you were thinking about it because when people come in here and they're so caught off guard by the question, I'm like, so you've never heard this podcast?
Well, I think our average listening time is 17 minutes. Which actually isn't bad for YouTube. 17 minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
We're going on an hour and a half right now.
That's
I
okay.
think.
Well, my mom will watch for at least an
Oh,
hour.
great.
So yeah, I'll watch myself again for sure. I'm a narcissistic. I'll be like, look at this guy.
Look at that hair.
Yeah, I just got to cut
So
today.
jealous. I mean, what? Hair and beard.
Man, that question is just John Malkovich. I think I kind of kept on coming up with. It's a movie I love. It's fun, but it's just. I mean, if I had a genre, I love the mockumentary, there's just so much. There's just so much it's so hard. You want anime? I think Ghost in the Shell is freaking fun because it talks about the future of computer-human hybrids and where we're basically going. Elon Musk wants to pull a chip in your head.
Yeah.
I mean, they talk about that in 1989. They have whole Japanese animation that's already delved into this world. It's like, ooh, really? So it's hard. It's one of the hardest questions I could ever think of.
All right. Okay, I think you answered it.
Yeah, it works.
Thank you guys. This has been
Thank you,
awesome.
Aaron, man. Dude,
Oh
what's
my
your
God.
last name? I don't know that information.
I go by Arron only. It is Arron.
All right. Cool, man. We'll say hi to your brother Moses. And for Cuyahoga Sound Podcast, I'm Evan Stone.
I'm Arron.
It is Arron Bound.
All right, there we go.
With no numbers.
I'm Chuck.
Peace.
Peace. Yes.